IVM.
Welcome to the Apne Liye Apno ke Liye podcast. Hi, I'm Dr. Meghna, the therapist mommy. I'm a clinical psychologist and psychotherapist and an internationally certified parenting educator. I have 15 years experience in mental health and I'm a mom to 2 kids. Have you ever felt like you aren't doing a good enough job raising your kids? Mom guilt can make the already tough job of being a mother that much harder. You should be doing more. You're not a good enough mom. Mom guilt can spring out of comparison, the feelings of inadequacy that creep in when you see other moms doing crafts with their kids while yours are glued to the iPad. Or when you decide to give your baby formula and you see all the happy tots around you being breastfed. According to a 2013 survey of 2,000 moms by a brand, 87% of mothers feel guilty at some point, with 21% unfortunately reporting feeling this way most or all of the time. Can we ever get rid of mom guilt? Let's find out in a conversation with Uvica abroad. Uvica is a mom comedian based out of Mumbai. Before stepping into content creation, she successfully ran her wedding planning company for 5 years. After her daughter was born, she decided to spend more time with her and maintain a journal of her experiences, and that's how her Insta page was born. Today, I'll be talking to her about her experiences of motherhood and how she manages to banish the mom guilt and navigate self-care. Hi, Uvica.
Hi.
So nice to have you here.
Honored.
So, as I said in the beginning, we're talking about mommies and their experiences and mom guilt and self-care. So, how does it feel like to be a mother? What does being a mom mean to you?
Oh, it's a wonderful experience. It's very fulfilling and rewarding. At the same time, honestly, you have a clone in front of you who's exactly a copy of you, replica of you, and you don't know whether it's a good thing or bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be
You
that.
don't know how to be happy about the fact that she behaves exactly like you or to be scared.
Yeah, I think I can identify with that. So, how has motherhood changed your priorities in life?
A lot of things have changed. For example, if I'm sitting here, back of my mind, I know that there is someone behind who's looking after her. So all these things have to be prioritized first. Only then I can step out for my work. You know, there's always a mental calculation at the back of your head. What are you going to do? So who's going to look after your child? How are you going to step out? So who's going to be with your child? She's not keeping well. So back of your mind, you're always thinking about, how she's doing and what she's doing. So a lot of your thing, it's not like, you're no more a free bird. I'm sorry to say that, but you're no more a free bird.
No, absolutely. I think the responsibilities that come with being a mom, a parent, right?
Yes.
They sort of take the center stage, right?
100% they do.
Yeah.
As much as we try to, tell them or tell ourselves that it's okay, ho jayega, theek ho jayega, but then you keep thinking about it.
Right, of course. Yeah. So we know that, science tells us that a mother's personality, her own character strongly impacts the child.
Yeah.
Right? And you are known for being such a fun content creator. You're known for being such a jovial person. Have you observed any positive impact of your personality and what you do on your child? And how does it
Yes.
impact your child?
I've seen quite a few of my traits in my child. First of all, she's also fun-loving. She has a great sense of humor. Like for a child of her age, I feel she has a great and a very witty sense of humor. So I really like that. She's also determined and, she has that kind of free-spirited personality and I don't care attitude. So I kind of like that. And I would want these things to be there in all the kids today because then, this is what takes them forward. You have to believe in yourself. So she has that kind of attitude that I'm enough.
That's lovely to see, right? I mean, that's lovely to see that your own characteristics being passed on to your child and fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, absolutely. So what's the one thing that you miss most doing since becoming a mom?
Lot of things. Do I have to say one? Just one? Okay, simple thing as just when it occurs to you, you want to meet a friend, you can't do that. You have to plan. एक बैग भी जाएगा एक ये भी like if at all your child is coming along with you तो उसकी सारी तामझाम सब कुछ जाएगा साथ में. So it's not like an impromptu plan.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of moms also experience postpartum depression or postpartum blues after childbirth. Is that something that you experienced?
I did. And at that point of time, I did not know it was depression. I did not know I could be the one who would suffer from depression. But now when I look back, I feel it was. I never discussed because maybe I didn't have the right kind of education, or maybe I didn't have the right kind of support system. I didn't have the confidence in me to even discuss about this. Maybe I thought my thoughts are not valid at that point of time. But today I feel it was depression. And I wasn't happy with my changed body, and I wasn't happy with my time being used 24/7 of my time, and my body was being used for, of course, another human, which is my child. But then you want some time for yourself as well.
You know, you brought up such an important point. You know, we, after becoming mothers, we do so much. We do everything for our baby and our families and everything else, all the responsibilities. There's like thousands points on our to-do list. I have to do this, I have to do that. And it's a never-ending kind of a, you know, our days
list.
merge into weeks and weeks merge into months.
Absolutely.
But it is so important, as you said, to be aware of, you know, myself, I need to prioritize myself somewhere around, you know, along the lane, because otherwise I will just get lost in this.
Yes.
They
This is
matter.
honestly, for the first time, I've spoken about my anxiety or depression at that point of time. I never spoke about it because today I feel I'm confident enough, or maybe today I feel those thoughts were valid. At that point of time, I was myself very confused.
Thanks so much for sharing with us. I think we need to enable these spaces for everyone
We need
in
to.
our families, in our lives, to talk about these experiences.
The more we talk, the better it becomes, and there is no harm in asking for help. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It does take a village, and we have to accept that.
And while we doing this apno ke liye, right?
Right.
It's so important to do this apne liye, you know. It's so important to prioritize ourselves
100%.
because if we get lost in our responsibilities,
Yes.
we can't find ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If we are not happy, then no one around is happy.
Yeah. So that's what. It's an unspoken rule that a mother has to give all her time to her child. When you became a new mom, did you take out time for yourself? And did you feel guilty when you did?
Initially, no. My child was very dependent on me, on my body. And but slowly and gradually, you know, you find an equilibrium. And you start realizing that you also need a time off. And then once you start talking to people, of course, they don't realize that you're going through depression or anything, but they just give their tips that, you know, why don't you go to a salon, or why don't you just go out and meet me for a cup of coffee? So for the first 2 to 3 months, I did not believe that that was required. I thought I am now completely for my child, but that's so wrong. Once I started doing that, once I started listening to myself, and once I started paying attention to myself, I was better at handling my child as well.
I'm so glad you said that, because that is so important. As a therapist, this is what I tell moms. Take out time for yourself, because you won't believe how much happier and fulfilled you'll be, in fact, in your role as a mother when you take out time for yourself. So what all did you do to really just
Very
take a break?
small, very basic things. I think everybody can do that, which is salon, looking after myself, then meeting up with friends.
I love that tip.
Yeah.
I love that strategy. In fact, taking care of one's own body and appearance, which is, I think, one of the most neglected parts of being a new mom. Science actually validates that taking care of your physical appearance has a calming effect on our brain.
It did that to me, so I can confidently say I'm a example. But yeah, there was a time when I wasn't very happy with my changed body. So today I am all about clicking selfies, and I'm on social media. So every part of my life is visible. I choose to put it out there on social media. At that point of time, when I scroll back, 2014, I hardly have any pictures of myself. It's just my child, my child, my child. Picture after picture is just my child. Why do not I have enough pictures of me? Because I wasn't very happy with the way I looked. I wasn't very happy with my changed body, my appearance. I worked on it. It took me time to, you know, kind of find a balance and kind of maybe have that kind of acceptance towards the new body. Once I did that, I was much happier. I was in a better space to even look after myself, and I felt happy about it. Slowly and gradually, you know, you lose weight, and you come to terms with your new normal, and you realize, okay, ab aisa hi rahega.
But, you know, I'm so glad you're bringing that up, because body image and body confidence in new moms is at an all-time low.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm so glad we're having this conversation, because it's so important to put it out there. Nobody talks about it. Like when I became a mom as well, and I know this from the countless experiences of women I see in therapy, that they don't feel good about their bodies. They don't feel good about how they look. And even 10 minutes of self-care routine in which they are combing their hair, taking a shower and maybe applying a kajal and bindi makes such a huge difference to their mood.
It does. Yes. Small things matter. Yes.
Yeah.
So the days I would get like enough time for proper shower, I would feel like a princess. Wow. Aaj to maine shower liya hai.
No, absolutely. That's why I always say self-care is not a luxury. It's not an indulgence. It's a necessity.
It's a necessity. And all these small things, you have no idea how much it makes, how big difference it makes to your day, to your attitude.
And that attitude and that mood then impacts all that you do.
Yes.
Right? It impacts a happy mom is equal to a happy child.
Yes,
a happy mom
100%.
is equal to a mom who's able to give that kind of energy in her house.
If you're sulking and if you're not happy, your child connects with you on energy level.
Absolutely.
The child can just sense it. She's practically, like, the child is practically living with you, on your body, with you. So it's very important for a mother to be happy, to give out those positive vibes to the child. Otherwise, the child will also catch those vibes and you wouldn't want that.
So to all the listeners, unless we take care of ourselves, unless we ourselves are filled with those positive vibes, unless we invest in Apne Liye, we can't really give this to Apno ke liye. We can't really give this to our children, our families, and all the other things demanding our attention. So when we are talking about how you used to spend time for yourself, we would also like to know, how would you balance your responsibilities? How did you bring about that balance in self-care and in caring for your family, for your baby? So how did you bring about the balance in Apne Liye and Apno ke liye?
So the key word here is to prioritize, and you learn it with your experience. No one's born with it, and once you become a mother, you just kind of, finding your own footing. With time, you learn what is more important when. And once you learn that, you just know how to balance everything. And also, I would say, it's not about the quantity of time that you spend with your child, it's the quality that you spend. So even if it's like half an hour a day, you put your devices away, you put all the distractions away. That half an hour is your and your child's time, and no one in the world should and can disturb you.
I love what you just said, because what research actually corroborates that. Research tells us that, when we say quality time, it means that even if you spend those 15 minutes or, as you said, half an hour of time with your child, that is undistracted 100% attention to your child. Right? So that is super important.
Right.
It's not the kind of thing, the mommy guilt that I was talking about in the beginning, that, you're on your device, but you're feeling guilty that you're not paying attention to your child, and you're with your child, but you're thinking about something that you need to do.
Right.
So we're often caught in that limbo.
No half-hearted attention.
Correct.
I think it should be either all or none. You do your work, but just when you're with your child, then no work. I think we shouldn't mix these two things together. So you have to find, your own balance. And when you're with your child, I feel you have to give your undivided attention to your child. So then I think it's a very personal way of finding balance. For some, it would be just on weekends. For me, it's just 1 hour every day alongside weekends. So I think over there, it's a very personal decision of how you find your balance. But this is how I do it.
Yeah. That's great. I think what you're emphasizing is in finding that balance can look differently for different families, for different moms. But finding that balance by thinking about what is my priority is super important.
Yes.
That was great. Thanks so much, Uvica.
Most
It was
welcome.
amazing talking to you. And I really hope
Likewise.
your message goes far and wide to all the new mommies and and to all the seasoned mommies out there. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Lovely talking to you as well.
Everyone who wants to follow Uvica can go to her Instagram, uvi.says, and check out more on what she's doing. In closing, I'd like to remind our listeners, take care of yourself. Let your feelings, rather than others' opinions, be your guide. Take a break. Self-care goes a long way, mommies. That's what will help you feel better and take care of your family better too. I'd love to hear your thoughts on striking this balance between caring for yourself and your family. Head over to my Instagram at @thetherapistmommy and be a part of the conversation. We'll be back with the next episode of the Apne Liye, Apno ke liye podcast with some inspiring moms sharing their motherhood experiences, brought to you by SBI Life, Apne Liye, Apno ke liye. For more details, log on to sbilive.co.in, IRDAI registration number 111.
करो पूरे अपने इरादे, अपनों से किए सभी वादे। SBI लाइफ, अपने लिए, अपनों के लिए।